Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to My Hero Academia. It is season 3, episode 2. And well, we have some new heroes. We have someone else in the fray. You can see him here already. So it's interesting. It really is. And you know what to do. As always, if you want to see the reaction, please go down into my description. There is a link, or in this case, there are two links. Remove the circumflex dot parts and put in real dots, and you can see the reaction completely. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. So, that was a really cool episode. I liked it a lot. We are finally going on and, well, seem to learn what is, at least for the beginning, for the first half of the season, the theme. So it's about training right now. It's a summer camp, but not in the mean of having fun and playing around. It's in the meaning of training to be a hero. So no time off for all of them. We started off with a little bit on the villain side. So something got delivered, goods got delivered. By this dude named Giran, who I think is more neither just like an entrepreneur, someone who tries to make money out of the evil guys. So I guess he's not a good guy either. So he is possibly just someone who is going for the quick cash. But I guess we will see him a little bit more. Maybe he is someone that our heroes to be maybe able to follow in the future, to find the leak. So I will keep an eye open for him. I don't know what it is that he delivered though. We've seen it in the end of the episode that whatever it was delivered to the other villains. And one of them mentioned that it is moving. So I really have no clue. I guess we will see in the next episodes. Then we had the intro, which seems to be more or neither the same we've already seen in episode 1. One thing I realized, I already pointed it out, there was a white-haired person with a big hand on top of his head, like comforting. I'm pretty sure it was not Todoroki. I guess it was Tomura there. So, well, I'm kind of hoping we will get a bit of background story on him. That would be cool to see. What this is about, and those hands, gloves he has on himself, what those are about as well. Yeah, and then we already went on with the bus, had a little bit of traveling. The kids enjoying themselves, and as Eraser had said, it's possibly the last time they can. I can see why. And then he brought in the Pussycats, which was something I did not expect. I mean, we have seen it in the last seasons already that there is a lot of comedic relief and there are a lot of heroes who are strange, to see the least. But those, yeah, okay, very special. We had Deku once again going mumbling. I like the fact that they go for that again, because if I remember season 1, the first episode, especially before he got the quirk, his main benefit, the biggest thing apart from being a hero in himself, throwing himself in the line of fire, the biggest thing about him was knowledge. He studied heroes and villains. He knew about their abilities, about their advantages. That was always something he could use. There was a foundation where he can plan on. So I like the fact that they bring this in again, that he knows who they are. He knows their advantages, their abilities. He knows their age, which, as it seems, at least one of them does not like to be mentioned. So we will see. But he mentioned they are a group of 4. And we have just met 2, because I'm pretty sure that the little boy, Kota, is not one of them. So possibly there are 2 other members. Not sure if those are male or female. And this group, which is a hero, what is it? bro, you know what I mean, is specializing on mountain rescue, which is cool. So it makes sense if you have abilities, you try to specialize and work in this field, like we have with Tsu as example, who is more neither destined to be working in the rescue on whatever kind of water. So sure, she could work on other destinations, on other places as well, but in the water she definitely has advantages. So those pussycats have advantages, I guess, in the mountains. We have already seen that at least one of them can kind of create stone beasts, which is good for training, but you can possibly use them for rescue operations as well, you know, to carry stuff, to bring people out of the mountain and whatever else. I'm not sure about what the other one can do, but I'm pretty sure we will learn about that soon. So the first test that they already had before they even arrived is to reach the campsite, it is a building in the end, and they have to do it within 3 hours. And it's pretty far, it seems. And some of them already guessed what was about to happen, because they tried to get back to the bus, but it was too late. So they got into an earth slide, which was created by the girls, and fell into the forest, which they named the Beast Forest, which is fitting because of the stone beasts. We had a little bit of throwback on other things. Deku and Uravity had a very short meeting, both of them being shy about each other. And yes, I nearly forgot about the fact that someone in the last season mentioned to Uravity that it seems as though she likes Deku. And that was the moment when she realized there might be something, you know, because she turned red. She turned beet red. And in this moment when Deku turned beet red and was stumbling, she was wondering why, then remembered that moment, and then she did the same. So, well, kind of hoping those two will get something going in the future. It would be nice. I mean, they both like each other. There's no question there. So they are put into the Beast Forest now, and as it seems, all of this is an idea of Eraserhead, or at least he promotes the idea. It might be an idea of the director of the school as well. And the training program that they're getting, or at least the level of training they're getting, is more like for second graders. So they are half a year or a year early. But the teachers chose to do so because of the villains acting so aggressively. So they want their students to be better prepared, to be ready for a fight in case one of the teachers is not around, you know? It might happen. It happened already in the past. We have seen it. So I see it. It makes sense, but it puts a lot of pressure on this group, on the class. So I think they will be able to handle it. I am not sure if Class 1B is there as well. We have seen them, and it looked as though they would go the same way. But during the fight in the forest, we haven't seen them really. So I'm not sure. I guess they will be there. It would be cool because we would see more of them. But sure, next episode or the one after, we will know. Yeah, I really don't have to talk much about the fight against the beast itself. They clearly showed that they are very good already at using their quirks. They learned it in the last half year. They are really good at working together, which I like. Those of you who follow my reactions know that I am someone who loves teamwork, who loves it when they use their quirks and combine them. And they did it here. So they used Gravity's ability to levitate them, and then Tsu to throw them away. They used the acid to damage the feet of the beasts, and then punch them over with, as example, the speed of Ingenium or the power of any one of the others. Sure, some of them can beat such a beast by themselves, like Deku, Todoroki, or Kachan, because they're just strong, you know, so they are able to beat those one by one. But you could see every one of them has his very own purpose, and in a group they work very good together. We had our two heroes who are specially designed to for reconnaissance, to recognize if there is someone around. They were put in use perfectly, so I really like it. They show again that as a class, as a group, by now they are experienced at working together, and there was not really someone who was like in command. They did it with each other without needing to be told. They already knew how to adapt to each other and how to watch out for each other. I like it. Still, they did not reach the destination in time. There was Kota saw that already from top, so he said he was a bit, like well, he's a bit negative about heroes, as we know now. So the question is if there would have been any other option to avoid these fights. Maybe, I'm not sure. Possibly. So they go through direct route, full force, full power. Maybe and avoiding the fight would have been faster, but I can only speculate because I wouldn't be sure how to. So, however, they did good. Even the Pussycats had to agree that they were pretty good for students of year 1. They couldn't do it in the time that those pro heroes did, but well, that's the difference. Pro hero and those enemies, so you know more about their weak spots and how to get by faster. They reached the camp, however, in the evening, so some hours later, still got food, which, as it seems, was pretty good and it looked very nice. And I guess all of you know, when you have worked hard, when you really did a lot of stuff on a day, then even the simplest food can taste wonderful. And in this case, it was good food, so they eat like there was no tomorrow. I'm not sure what the pro heroes meant by the fact that it's the only day they will cook for them and do stuff for them, so possibly the other days the students have to do it themselves, which would be okay. So would be interesting to see who of them is able to cook. Yeah, we had the little, hey, this is Kota, he's our nephew, hi Kota, punch in the gut moment. That really, I didn't see that one coming. Because it was not, if he's grumpy about heroes or he doesn't like heroes is one thing, but to punch someone in the gut, when he is, in the end, kindly saying hello, well, what's wrong with this kid? However, we then had another scene of creepiness, as always, and it is the same character as always, although there's comedic relief there. I have to give it to him, he's determined on reaching his goals when it is this goal, seeing the girls without clothes. He really is putting a lot of energy there, and as I stated in the past, if he would put that much energy in everything else, he would be incredibly good. However, he used his abilities to the best option and got stopped by Kota. Plus point for Kota, by the way. I really like the sentence that Kota used, and I'm pretty sure I will name this episode like that. Before learning to be a hero, learn to be a human instead. Something like that it was. And I have to agree there. Because that is my only big thing with him at all. The fact that he is 90% creep and 10% hero. And that's not correct. He really has to work on that. But I mean, they designed him to be that way so that people like me are feeling like that. So, we will see. Maybe he will somewhere in the future learn it. Kota then turned around, had the view that someone else wanted, still as a little boy, fell down, was rescued by Deku. Heroically. Not sure if he would agree there, however. But still, maybe that's a point where we can grow on that Deku is, he's a nice guy. So I'm kind of hoping that Deku or maybe someone else will get on the same page with Kota. I could think that maybe Kachan would be a very good option, because in many ways he is grumpy as Kota is. And he likes the way that he behaves. Well, I think he mostly liked the fact that Kota punched Deku in the guts. So, that just might be an option. Would be interesting to see, especially Kachan, who's like burning and exploding all the time, with a little kid who looks up to him. We'll see. We started the next day at 5:30 in the morning, which is pretty soon. Oh yeah, we got the background information about Kota, about his parents. Don't have to go too much into that yet. I think it will be, if he's not growing on the heroic side by meeting the kids, he will possibly at least do it when he meets evil guys. Because in the end, yes, you can feel bad about heroes because your parents were heroes and died and left you alone. But who's worse? Those or the ones that killed your parents? And those are the evil guys. So I guess that is the one thing we need to wait for. That the evils are showing up and he has to realize that the real problem is not the heroes. So, but there is a connection between this different viewpoint that he has on heroes and the viewpoint of Tomura, who had something similar said in the past about hating All Might because he's always smiling, like he could do everything. So I guessed someone in the past that maybe Tomura didn't get rescued when he was in need, and that's why he's so hateful towards heroes. We will see. However, we started at 5:30 in the morning, which is incredibly soon, and got into the first training steps, which is take this ball and throw as far as you can, Kachan. And I mean, yes, he took Kachan because he's someone who wants to show off, you know? I am not sure. I think in case of Deku, there would have been a bigger difference in the range he had thrown, because at this time, when he did the first throw, he used the ability of One for All for the second time, I think it was the second time, and had like still no control about it on it. So, and he clearly over the last half year developed this ability, and I think the quirk got stronger already. So I guess he could throw further. Although one might question, thus he broke his finger at this time, at the first time, and he possibly will try not to do it this time. Maybe it would be even less. We don't know. But I think when it comes to quirk development, Deku already has a good plan, is already on a good road. While many, not all, but many others have not improved their quirks in strength, but I think they improved many of it in width, in the way of how to use your quirk. You know, as we've seen with Kachan, he was just explosions, and then he used the explosions to move around, to maneuver, to evade, to everything else, you know. We have seen Todoroki growing in the meaning of that he is now using both sides of his powers. So there is a development in the quirks, but yes, they did it on themselves. They had no training from the school yet, from the UA. So it's an interesting idea, and I'm really looking forward to how they want to do it. How do you train a quirk like that? I mean, just taking Kachan, as far as we know, his quirk is that his sweat has this explosive energy. Do you make him sweat more? Or how do you train him that his sweat is more potential than before? No? Like a more refined sweat? How do you do that? It's a bodily thing, you know? So, there's the question. How do you train that the skin gets harder than it already is hard when you have the quirk to form yourself into rock? how do you make that you hear better with those ears you let grow out of your arms than you did before, and so on. How do you train your gravity's ability to levitate? She already does levitate. I guess like levitate so many things and then put in one more, so bit by bit. But there are many quirks where I really don't know how they want to train him. And especially just talking about Sue. She just has the ability that she is like a frog. Sure, possibly you can try if her tongue can stretch further, or she can breathe longer underwater, but I guess she can already breathe underwater endlessly. She can already swim extremely well, so I'm not sure there. So I'm interested how they want to do it, if they have some ideas for it. In the end, in my opinion, they would have to have like a specific training program for every quirk, because in the end, they are all different. There's some who are a bit alike, you know? But in the end, everyone has a very specific quirk, which is their own. I really liked more the idea of Euravity in the end of the last season, that she realized that her main weakness in fights is not her quirk, but the fact that she's not a really good fighter in the meaning of melee ability, and so she went to train melee fighting. That is something which I can see way more, see your weak spots and train to get them removed. Sure, your strong side, train, no question, but how? So, next episode, definitely the big question. How do you train quirks? And try not to die. Yeah, well. That's it in the end for this episode. So I will see next episode. I'm pretty sure we'll see how they train the quirks. I really hope they do it individually for the quirk, and it's not something like, I don't know, midichlorians in everyone stuff. So I'm really hoping they have a specific training program for every one of them. I hope we will learn more about Kota, because he is, well, he's put in, and I guess it has a reason he's there. And I hope we will maybe just see like the first step of the villains, whatever that might be. So that's it for this time. As always, I enjoyed this. I hope you did as well. And I will see you next week, maybe Saturday. I'm not sure yet. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.